It's a pleasure to be here, and when you are given the introduction that I'm going to somehow explain what you should all do to succeed, it would be far too presumptuous. So clearly, I take this as more of a position of trying to give you some of the thoughts and ideas that we have seen throughout the entire world, and really use that as, so yes, Sweden can win if. And to give you a few thoughts on that, thank you. By many definitions, Sweden is winning today. On a European basis, when you look at it from a relative perspective, in many ways, Sweden is winning, and there can be some ways to bring Europe closer into maybe some of those models, some of those different ways of doing that. But at the same time, to say that you are winning, which means that you can have some form of complacency or some form of slowdown in your thinking, forget that. Forget that right away, because the pace of what's happening in the world, those that are after you as a country, those that are after Europe, those that are after America, you name it, every country that I visit that we do business in, all have a plan. They all want to win. They all want to be next or net exporters. And my statement to that is, if everybody wants to be a net exporter, we need a new planet, because you can't get all of that done. So that's the competitive world that we're in. We have the opportunity, and I have the opportunity to run a company that is in 80 countries. We have over 3,000 offices and about 700,000 employees. Almost 40% of those are in Asia. When I give a talk like this, whether it be in China or what we're doing in India, they want to win. They want to be the next exporter of the world. It's that kind of competitive dynamic that we all must take extremely seriously. So, when it comes down to it, I'm going to be very basic. You will win if you have better GDP growth. If you think about it at that very high level, you'll win if you have better GDP growth. Now let's break that down even further. GDP growth has two elements, basically. I'm not an economist, I think very simply. Has two, which is productivity and people. That's it. The combination of productivity and people, how they interact with others, that's it. The problem is everybody knows that too. So it's how you use that productivity, how you use that people, that makes a big difference. On the people side, it's about demographics. More people, more skill, more growth. Bad demographics, trouble. We have a lab in Milwaukee, our headquarters, to figure out how to make a 1-year-old an 18-year-old in less than 18 years so that they can be productive in the workforce. We have not discovered anything along those lines. What we do know, to augment demographics, 2 M's: mobility and migration. Those countries that have the ability to move within their country to where the jobs are much, much more successful in driving GDP growth. Those countries that have immigration, both positive and sometimes more difficult immigration, that makes a difference. Those are the 2 things that can help demographics. Those 2 things, however, cannot make up for the hole that is being created by youth unemployment. Youth unemployment must be tackled by every country. US, this country, Spain, definitely. Those are the things that are absolutely mandatory to be able to take apprenticeships, internships, those sorts of things to drive that demographic. On the people side, I'm sorry, on the productivity side, that was the people side. On the productivity side, 2 I's: investment or capital, and innovation. That's it. If you can get the right kind of investment into capital and the right kind of idea or innovation to continue to keep moving, that is how you create more GDP growth. So investment is critical. We introduced 2 years ago at the World Economic Forum in Davos the human age. The idea that it's not about technology, it's not about machines anymore, it's about unleashing human potential to create more innovation. How are you doing that as a company? How are you doing it as a country? And when you're able to do that, you are able to win. So in very simple terms, when you think about Sweden, Europe to win, it comes down to increased GDP, which is productivity and people. It comes down to the right kind of migration within your country and the right kind of mobility. And it comes down to investment and innovation. The way in which you do that, the fortitude, the drive in which you're able to do that will differentiate you. If you are in the middle of the pack, very dangerous spot because people, countries will pass you by. There will be winners and there will be losers. Those who have the talent, those who can direct the talent, those who drive the talent mismatch to have a smaller gap, I guarantee you 5 years from now, 8 years from now, those will be the winners, and then the game will change again, and we'll see what comes next. So hopefully that gives some idea for us as panelists to tee up, kind of broad, but it really is based on many of the things that we see throughout our travels and my travels in countries. So thank you very much.
Thank you.